Hey y'all, it's me P and I'm back with another recipe. And I've been wanting to share this with y'all like up close and personal. So I hope y'all ready. Stay tuned. As you can see by the title today, we doing seafood gumbo, y'all. And I want to make sure y'all get the proper consistency in the pot, even in the bowl. That's why I did this clip right here. I want to make sure y'all get the consistency that you need for the rice because all of that definitely matters when you're eating it. So let's get into it. I start my gumbo by boiling my chicken. I like to have chicken in my even in my seafood gumbo, so I always start with boiling my chicken and I make my broth. If I'm not putting chicken, I would do like the gizzards and yeah, the gizzards to get those kind of tender, and then the chicken next, and then you start building off of that, and that makes a broth like you see right here. I did season the water a little bit, but that's a lot of broth in that water as well. So I bought 4 chicken thighs, and then I took them out and I separated like the skin and took off any little pieces that I don't want in my pot, and I put it back in. So I am gonna take out like the thicker skin pieces a little after, but I still wanted to keep getting that brought into the pot while I let it kind of just get softer and separate. Y'all gonna see that later. So this is all of the season, the first season that I use. I usually add parsley and green onion as well, but I only use these for the recipe today. So as you can see with the celery, I kind of chopped it thick, and then I'm going to dice it down. Not too much. I don't want anything really minced for this. It's going to get soft when I cook it down, and it's also going to get soft when it boils in a pot, and you don't want it to evaporate. You don't want it to disappear. You don't want it to dissolve, rather. You don't want your season to dissolve into your pie. You still want to be able to see it and have it, and I promise you, you're going to love it. If you're not a person that usually loves like onions, thick pieces of onions, or celery or bell pepper, you will love it in gumbo. I guarantee it. My daughter and Leah back there, she's not big on big pieces of season, but when it's sauteed properly, especially in gumbo, it's amazing, y'all. It really adds to the flavor of the meal. So after I chop everything, you can see it's still in, pretty big pieces. I put everything into one bowl, and y'all gonna see why I just put everything into one bowl in just a second. Only thing I put in a separate bowl is the garlic, and y'all gonna see why for that in just a second as well. So of course it's this chicken and sausage gumbo. You gotta have sausage. I use 6 sausage links, and I cut them down in four. The way you do this is how I'm showing you right here. You cut it down the middle one way, and you flip it to the other side and cut it down the middle again. And this is going to give you 4 sections of your sausage, and then you just slice it, and it's going to break apart and be 4 little cubes of sausage. I like to cook it like this for chicken and sausage gumbo because it just gives it a fuller um vibe to your bowl. Like it's more meat and but not as big. Cause sometimes I always find myself like biting a piece of it. Like I don't know. That's just me. I like bite sized stuff, so I really like doing it like this. Now, y'all, I put that to the side. I have everything chopped. Y'all gonna see why, because this is like basically the end of coming to the end of the gumbo in a way. Once you have your broth made, you start fixing your roux. I know many of you probably seen like a short of me doing a roux, but or doing a roux for my crawfish etouffee. So this is me doing a roux for the gumbo. So basically, I use about a cup of flour and about a cup of, I'm sorry, cooking oil. And for the size of my pot, if you have a bigger pot, you may need more flour and more cooking oil for that pot. I'm gonna give y'all. I'm not gonna really speed it up, but I'm giving y'all small clips of how it looks over time. So this is when I first started. This is about 2 to 3 minutes later. And I didn't want to speed it up because I want y'all to really see like my hand motion and how fast I'm moving, how slow I'm moving. It's on a low fire, medium to low fire, and I'm doing what my mama called a figure eight. This is how she told me to do it. And you always want to keep your hand moving, your spoon stirring. In a roux, you want to get all the corners, the middle, and everything. And I'm still doing this. It was about 15 minutes later, and y'all can see how the color changed from 3 to 5 minutes. So now it's a very pretty brown color, y'all. That is beautiful. Okay, very melanin, just very much the color you want for your gumbo. You can go darker. Um, it's up to you. Not too dark, but you can go a couple shades darker. I did stir for about 3 more minutes. It looks a little bit lighter just because of the lighting, but I put it at this angle so y'all can see how I'm about to saute that season that we chopped up earlier. And this is one of the reasons why I say chop it. Chop it, not dice it. So y'all see, I'm putting it in, and the grease and the flour is just cooking it fast, y'all. It starts cooking really, really fast. So I lower my heat, mix it in, and I make sure I fold it, mix it, fold it, mix it, fold it. Again, I'm not speeding this up because I want y'all to see how my hand is moving, how the spoon is moving, how I'm making sure I get all of that season coated and mixed around. When y'all smell this in your house, like, you just gonna feel like you could just start eating that. It's just that smell is timeless, like for real, yo. I love the smell of roux and fresh chopped season, fresh chopped vegetables. Is just amazing scent, and that's why it's such an amazing dish, yo. So I'm just doing this, and then I'm gonna let it simmer. It's getting thicker and they getting softer. So I'm just gonna keep letting that simmer for about another. At this point, it was probably already about 4 or 5 minutes, and I did let it simmer for like another 3 minutes while I started taking out those big pieces of like chicken skin in my pot, making sure I didn't have any like too many pieces of gristle in there, anything. And I'm about to show y'all that in the next clip. Okay, so I feel like I say so a million times, y'all. I try to find a different word, I promise. But anyways, I was trying to get the angles for y'all as well, and just kind of sitting my phone up in different little spots. But I'm just using my spoon and fork type of method, and I'm scooping up some of the bones. I did leave a few in still for flavor, and just in case, Babe might want to take out a bone. Sometimes he like a bone. He likes some extra skin as well. and but I'm taking like some of the thicker pieces, fatty pieces out. Just if it's too much, y'all could kind of see it floating on the top. And don't worry about that grease because I'm gonna get to that as well. We're gonna talk about the grease in just a second. So yeah, that's all I'm doing. Just taking that out. I have my bag over there that I was putting like my trimmings from the season, the pieces that I didn't want or whatever the case may be. So I'm just using that bag to throw away whatever pieces I don't want out of my pot. Making sure it's ready before I put my roux in and start mixing it all together because it's almost done, y'all. Okay, y'all. See how the roux look? So it's slid right in. It's settled in perfectly. That's a good roux. That's a good pie. Like, it went really well. Some people do it different. They do their roux first in their pot and then they fill it up with water and it will blend the same way and then they would just boil it for a couple hours and they add their food in. I do it the other way. This is the way I've seen all my life. I didn't even know it was done the other way until recently. So this is the way that I'm gonna always do it. Now, I'm about to skim my pie. As I was taught, it's called skimming the pie. You skimming the grease off the top of the gumbo. However you want to say it, but that's what we say. So if y'all hear somebody say that, y'all don't know what that mean. You taking the grease off the top of the pie. I actually called my daughter in the kitchen. I said, now look, now you need to learn what I'm doing. What is this called? She was like, I said, what I'm doing? She said, you taking the grease off the gumbo. I said, well, what you call it? And she was like, taking the grease out. I'm like, no, it's called skimming. You can always remember it's called skimming the pot. So I'm teaching her as well, yo. And but I was happy to know she at least understood that I was taking the grease out and I wasn't just throwing gumbo away. Cause it might look like in a bowl, which I forgot to show y'all how it look in a bowl. It might look like a whole bowl of gumbo, baby. It's not. You want to get that grease off. The grease is from the chicken that boiled and also the roux that we made because we put grease in there and you don't want to leave all that grease in there. I'm also going to skim the pot again when I put the sausage in. But I sped this up just a little bit. I did. This is kind of speed, like going faster than real time. It took me about 3 minutes to do this part, and I did leave a little bit in because I'm gonna go back in and skim it again after this clip. But I'm not gonna show it to y'all. So this is all of my sausage that I chopped up. I just love the bite-sized pieces. Shout out to my cousin Kendra. If she ever watches this, or any of my cousins ever watch this, y'all already know Kendra is queen of the bite-sized sausage because she is one of out of all the younger cousins, like our generation, she the one that cooked the biggest pots of food. So I used to be over there like for parties and stuff like that, and she taught me this. So shout out to you, Kendra. I love my cousins, y'all. I love my people. But anyways, it looks so good. So I'm just kind of sauteing the sausage in that same pot that I did my roux. I did not clean it beforehand. I left the remnants of the roux in there just for flavor. And yeah, I just got that a little bit charred and got some of the grease out of there before I put it in the pot. I'm showing y'all what makes the gumbo. This is pure filet. And I'm just showing y'all some of the things that stay on the side. This is one of the last things to go in the pot right before you get ready to serve it. And I put it in there after all of my stuff went in. So I'm about to show y'all that now. The container I showed y'all before was was closed. This one was already open. I have a few of them in my cabinet just in case I decide to cook some gumbo and I don't have filet. I never want to not have filet in my cabinet. I've been there, done that. That is a horrible feeling to not have filet in the cabinet, y'all. I ain't got time because you never know, the stores might not have it, and you don't want to be that person with no filet from New Orleans. I'm sorry, I need my filet in the cabinet. So, y'all saw it's some green powdery season, and it might look like what's going on, but y'all, amazing. That filet is going to enhance that smell and that flavor just to perfection. So I'm going to show y'all how to do rice in a pot. I'm using a parboiled rice. Honestly, I just started using this a few years ago. My mama just started using this a few years ago. We used to just use regular white rice. But I want to show y'all how to measure it. It's easier than it seems. I use a 2-pound bag. So what I'm going to do is fill my rice and make sure it has like water in the bottom, if that makes sense. Like, you don't want your rice to feel too thick down there. So when I poke my finger in, it feels like it has space, like it has gaps. And then on top of the water, on top of the rice, there's an index finger full of water. And you see how it sunk down? So you want to have water on top to the index first line, and then you want to be able to stick your finger all the way down to the second line with rice and water, if that makes sense. Basically, you want to have your water, and you don't want to put too much. So that's another thing. Like, I'm trying to figure out what the issues could be, because I know people make it gummy. If it comes out gummy, that means you put too much water. If it comes out hard, you didn't put enough. So that's the way to make sure you have just enough of water. If you have water that is sitting over the rice to that first tip of your finger without you touching the rice, it has to just be the tip of your finger touching the rice, the rest water. This is after about 4 or 5 minutes of the rice cooking on a medium to low heat. And I just stir it around so y'all can see that water that's still in there. And it's pretty much done. About 3 minutes later, I let it steam 3 more minutes, and it was done. This is how it looks. Nice and flaky. Turned it off immediately because you don't want to burn it. Just showing y'all how it look in a bowl. And that's it, y'all. I turned that pot off. Mixed it up. The chicken is all separated. Don't know what happened right there. But the chicken is all separated. I gave it to Riley. Let her do a taste test.
Yummy?
Yeah.
Riley said it was good. I tasted. It was good. And we dug in, y'all.
Ooh.
We ate good, y'all. It was so good. So I hope y'all get to try this weekend. Super easy. Simple ingredients. Enjoy.